So officially, my name is Tiara. Okay. I am a singer, songwriter, and I own a branding agency called C Genius Now, also known as Creative Genius. I started this back in 2012 when I got married young and then got pregnant not too long after that. And, as a singer songwriter, I knew that it was a difficult thing to get into because of watching movies growing up, which is why I took the educational route. But life led me back around to it and seeing it as something that I was really passionate about and wanted to do. And it was difficult at that time to find different people or companies or agencies that would really invest the time, energy, and work into my artistry and my brand to publicize myself or to connect me with the right people. So I decided to create my own agency to not only do it for myself and my own brand, but to take the skills that I was learning and the network that I was acquiring and, introduce that to other people. Now, I didn't go to business school, so I didn't take business classes. It was a lot of research and a lot of learning. I remember the first time I did a business plan, it took me a month to do it because I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what I was doing, in and out. And of course, with technology changing, things adapted over the years. So fast forward, I'm here now almost 10 years later, and I'm finally able to implement the business the way I've always wanted to versus bits and pieces. So on the back end, I'm actually becoming certified to be a digital marketer in this realm. So since I have that newly obtained skill under my belt, I'm revamping the whole website. So just so you guys can see, this is the original website. Let me minimize this. This is the original website, okay, the main page. But the thing about this, if I can move this out of the way, let me see here. There we go. If I can move this out of the way, initially what people will come across when they find the agency and when it's promoted, they'll be led to this offer page. Let me let it load back up for a quick second there. They'll come to this offer page, which gives insight about the actual agency. So mainly my agency's mission, C Genius Now's mission, is to provide online production, promotion, and management services that contribute to your brand's online presence, okay? And it goes through the information and how it works, which I'm going to explain in detail, but I wanted you guys to see this first because since the website is not back up, as a alternative or a substitute, I have my conference hub here, which is what I'll be using anyway with anybody that comes in as a new brand or artist or business, what have you. So I know we're all used to Zoom, we're used to Go Meeting and things like that, but I use free conference call because of the structure and the platform and the way I'm able to add in the tidbits about my business. So if I or any of my team members are meeting with someone, this is always the main place they'll be directed to so they know how to join a session or a meeting, which I'll explain as well. The key thing I like about this is that it provides all the information about the agency, which will be connected to the website as well. So for those that are interested in working with us, they can request service via text message by texting the word service, or they can call this direct line. And this direct line will be open to taking service requests between certain times, which I'll get to as well. But the main thing about my agency, which I found to be very niche and key about it, is the fact I came up with this concept of a process called Begin. And Begin simply stands for branding ideas, earning income, generating wealth, investing in yourself, and networking with like-minded people. And what I do is take that structure and apply it to every person, including myself, that I work with. So that way, no matter what type of service or resources we're providing, we follow that structure and we cater to people as a whole, not only their business or brand, but any personal solutions that they need as well, which I'll explain also. Now, initially, this link right here, it would go to the website. However, right now it's taking people straight to our booking site. Okay. Now I'm going to pivot back to this, but before I do, I just want to go down a little bit more so you guys can see why I choose free conference call. First thing, I'm able to keep resources in one spot, and this is for our internal team members. So those that are helping with production or with promotion, with management, advertising, things like that, they're able to use quick links to access certain internal business endeavors that we have going on. But also the calendar is here as well. So that way, if we have sessions scheduled with individuals, they can easily see it here. And their information is, kept private, but also sessions that are open to people that just want to chime in about what they can access through our agency, whether it's services or resources. And so we keep this updated. And we just start implementing these sessions and workshops as of the end of this month. So you guys can see the next session that I'll have is actually this evening, and it'll be the first one of regular sessions that we'll have. And my favorite part about this is at the bottom. Let's say, somebody wanted to chime in on a particular workshop or a session that we're having, in regards to something that can help their brand or, a service that they need. They might be driving on the road, or they may not be able to dial in. As long as the radio is on, they can just simply come to this page and they can hear everything that's happening versus having to sign in all the time, especially if they're not in a, I guess you could say, a comfortable place to do so. But that's it about this page. I'm not going to stay on it too long. I'm going to go over to the booking site so you guys can start to see where this is going. So with Creative Genius, or C Genius Now, as I call it, this is our main booking page, which is also connected to the website. And I'm going to go a little bit backwards here so that way everything makes sense. So first, as I stated before, when people request services, they can either text this number or they can call in. Now, the only times that we are accepting service requests via phone are these times listed here, Tuesday through Thursday, because the other times they're going to be dedicated to those sessions, those workshops, and actually servicing the clientele of our agency. And of course, all of our social media and contact information is listed here. The website, when it's up, it'll be connected, but if you were to click on it now, right now, it's going to sync you back to the conference hub. So that way everything matches up correctly. So the main thing and the way this works, let me skip over here just really quick and I'll get to the services. We're on the book private services page, which you'll see here, and I'll go through those. But also when it comes to virtual sessions, like, group sessions that we have, or independent sessions, individuals, they'll be listed here as well. Now, there'll be some that are open that you can just join, but then there are also some that'll be invitation only, but they'll be there. People can learn about us as well really quickly. So again, we are a digital branding agency that provides media management, promotion, and production services for businesses and brands, including private personal solutions for owners and their affiliates. So very straightforward. We'll have more photos that go up. Mainly they're connected to our Instagram page and different brands we have worked with and currently work with. And, everybody loves reviews. So we do have some reviews that we've obtained in the last year with working with different people. So back to the private services, our process is very straightforward. Whenever we work with anybody, whether new or returning, the main thing is that we always have a consultation. So you can see there are 3 ways to do this. You send a text message, you can call, but either way, you're going to be directed here, whether we schedule the service request for you internally or you schedule it yourself through the booking site. And with this, what you're going to receive is a form that allows you to register and have access to our network. Now, what I will say is that for the first 500 people that we start with as of now, we're not charging anything for people to join our network and to access our services and resources. However, once we pass that 500 mark, we will charge a small registration fee. And it's not for the services, it's simply because of the data and information that we're collecting and holding in regards to everyone that we work with. And the reason we do that, it's actually two reasons. One, because of the applications and programs that we use, money goes towards those so we can stay in operation. And the second part of that is for having team members to update information. And when I show you guys the forms, it'll make sense as I go along, because I don't know about anybody else. Whenever I'm filling out information, applications, what have you, it becomes a little mundane and redundant to have to keep putting in the same information over and over again. And the way we've structured our services and our resources, we want to be able to take the same information that you've already provided and utilize that for whatever service or resource we're implementing. So that would be the first part of it, is to actually request the services. Now, on a quicker side, for those that are familiar with us, and they just want a quick service from one of these sectors, you can do that. On the production side, just to show you guys, this is us creating content for your business, service, or brand online. And the content, we make enough content for you to last you for the next 30 days. That can be implemented across different media platforms and websites. If it's for promotion, we're not making the content, but we are setting up your digital endorsements and advertisements, meaning that we are digitally making you, what's the word I'm looking for? Visible online, not just putting you online, but making sure you are set up to start advertisement, whether through YouTube or Facebook, Google, email, through our network, whatever makes sense at that time. For the next 30 days. And then of course, management, it isn't the advertisement or creating the content, but simply updating and adjusting the content as needed. So for example, let's say you have a Facebook page for your restaurant and you already have new pictures or new videos, you already have your advertisement going, but you need someone to look it over to where they can switch out the different videos, they can change the dates, they can update the wording, things like that. So those are quick services, and we go into more from there, but that just gives you guys a bird's eye view of how that works. So going back into the consultation, the way our system is set up and our services are set up, when you initially do the service request, that time that we schedule with you, just so you guys can see, let's say it's on Monday, right? 10 a.m. We want you guys to create a profile. I recommend using Google because it's easier. Most things are connected. But the point I'm making is that when you sign up with this, I'm just going to use myself as an example. You sign up to book your appointment, okay? You have your information in there. You have your time that's scheduled. So on that day and that time, the reason it's 15 minutes is because we're simply making sure we understand what type of business we're doing, what you're interested in, and how we're moving forward. So during that phone call, or that conference call, I should say, we're going to go through our first form, which is our new member form. Okay. And this is where we gather your name, your email, and phone number, but more than likely we'll already have that because you already completed a profile here. So that's why I say a lot of times we're not looking to have people repeat themselves or have to provide the same information over and over again. We want to make sure we implement what we already have and make things as simple as possible, because I like things that are simple, simplicity, I should say. Now with that, we just ask a few questions about what services you are interested in, whether it's for the quick services like you saw on the page, maybe more personal solutions. So that way you, your business or your brand can grow, whether that's funding, housing, which is another reason why I do love Cornerstone. Lifestyle benefits, and that goes, working with different brands and vendors for whatever you may need for your brand or business. Media management, production, brand creation, placement, marketing, everything's pretty much self-explanatory. And during that time, if we have to clarify those things, we will do so. and then getting to know about whatever it is you do, your brand name, your company name, if you're an artist, you're a writer, whatever the case may be, and then why you're interested in joining us. And then last but not least, any type of online presence you already have, because since we're a digital branding agency, everything we focus on is being digitally present, digitally accessible, and digitally advertised. And then of course, since we have different people that we work with, we always want to know who brought you in, because that's how we designate certain things to those team members. And this right here, now it's not edited yet, so don't mind that, but this is what I meant about the registration. For the first 500 people, having access to our network and services won't be, it will be free of charge. But after 500, then that's what we'll implement a small registration fee. Now, just as a backstory as to why we chose that number, and you'll see this in the next form, or the second form, I should say. The reason we are capping it at 500 is because if we're able to have 500 consistent accounts under our belt for our agency, we are able to be an even bigger resource when it comes to finances. And I'll get to that in a minute, and it'll make total sense. But I just wanted to, put that bug in you guys' ear really quick. But this is the form that they'll complete. Now, once this form is completed, what we're going to do is go through the information and we approve each person that we work with. Because one thing we're not going to do, we're not going to waste anybody's time, because if you don't really need us or our services, and we're not going to be as beneficial to you as we think we could be, we don't want to waste that time. And especially if we can redirect you to somebody else that may be better suited for you. But for the most part, we expect every person that comes in, we should be able to work with, just because of the network that we have and the resources we have access to. So once the membership or the new member is approved, the registration is approved, there are 3 main forms that everybody's going to fill out. And the way it's structured, which is why I'm showing you guys the back end of this, you won't be able to go to the next form until you completed the first one or the one prior to that. So we look at everything in total, not just your business or brand, but you as a person as well. And the reason we do that, especially from my experience, no matter what type of business or brand or service or creative output you're looking to implement into the world, into society, if your personal life or your personal foundation is not stable, it's hard to handle both. And I can speak on that from my own personal experiences. So with that, the first thing we're going to do is get an understanding of where you are in life. And the way we do that, it may seem crazy because it's so simple, is that we take a look at what financial solutions are in place. So what I mean by that, very simple. We have your name, number, and email. What we want you to do is upload a copy of your credit report, okay? And that might sound like, well, why do you need that? It's gonna make total sense as to why. Now, with the pandemic and the way things have gone, you can actually get a free copy of your credit report once per week from all 3 credit bureaus. And if not, we have the numbers on there to call. And the reason we start with a credit report, because it gives us an idea of what financial responsibilities you currently have, what you need to take care of, and what room you have to do other things. Because as you can see, we're not asking for anything yet or any type of paid service yet, because the last thing we want to do is ask you for something and we don't even understand what's going on with you as a person. So that's the first thing. We want to take a look at that. And of course, if you have any freezes or locks or anything, we want to know about that as well. Now, what we do with the credit report, so that way you guys understand, when we take a look at this, what we're doing, we're going to find out what we need to help you clear out, what we need to help you get on top of. And if you don't have any credit, or if you don't have anything on there, how we can help enhance it, because that's going to lead into the next thing, making sure that you have a living foundation that's stable. And so If we didn't see it on the credit report already, whether you're renting or you own a home, we will find out from the next part. So this next form we will go through, it works in two ways. Either you're renting or you're owning. And if you're renting, you either want to move to another place or you want to make sure what you have is paid off. On the other side, if you're owning, either you want to make sure it's paid off, or maybe you own it and want to sell it, or you just want to maintain it. But either way, we get an idea about your living situation and how it works and everything behind that. And then last but not least, after we finish that form, the next form is going to be about you yourself and what you have in place. So we already have your name. We would have your address, more than likely from the credit report, birthday number, what you do so far if we don't have that already. And then we go into the family dynamics. You know, if you have children, grandchildren, a spouse, everything about your spouse, your children, and what type of expenses or coverage you have in place if we didn't already get it from the report and housing. So medical, long-term, life insurance, critical, and then your current finances as well. And of course, things that apply to you. And heaven forbid, if anything were to happen to you, who would be your beneficiary? Now, how do all these things tie into our agency? I know that's a big question. So the main thing is that we look at these aspects, like I said, because number one, if things aren't as stable in your life as you need them to be, there's no way that you can just jump full force into using our business and our services, because we can't do everything for free, even though we like to. We can't, just because of the time. And with that, if we start a service with you or a business with you or a relationship with you, heaven forbid something were to happen to you, not only does that hurt you and your family, but that also takes away from the business that we have going on. So we want to protect you and we want to protect the business as well. So once we do that and we have all that information, that's when we go ahead and we schedule this right here. I think I still had it up. Let me switch this really quick, guys. There we go. Let me pull this back up. So once we have all of that information, and this is all newly set up, so let me go here. Once we have all of that information, this is when we go into a begin session. As you can see, it's 90 minutes, because what we're going to do is take that structure of branding your ideas, earning income, generating wealth, investing in yourself, and networking with like-minded people. We'll be able to outline what services and resources we're going to provide to you based on the information that you've given us from those three forms, okay? And I don't know if you guys notice, everything that we do, it is going to be HIPAA compliant. As a backstory, I am certified in taxes. I am a certified notary public, and I'm also licensed in life and health insurance. And I do, I will be obtaining my securities license as well, because it goes hand in hand with everything that I'm doing. So during that 90-minute session, that's when we'll break down how the begin service program will work for you. So let me go here back to the actual website so you guys can see this. I have so many tabs, sometimes they don't always come up. I have to stretch this out a little bit. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we've already gone through how you guys join up for free. And this goes into everything that's included, okay? So when we go through the brand session, as I like to call it, for the first part, for the brand part of it, let me go down here. Let me just do this. That'll make it easier. So for the brand part of it, if it'll let me see, I might have it on a different page. That's okay. We're not going to worry about that. I'll just do this instead. Okay. So on the brand part of it, what we do after we have all of this information, what we're going to do, we're going to look at how your brand is either access or integrated into what we already have. So what I mean by that is your brand online? Yes or no? What's needed for your brand and how it's promoted, okay? Then for the earn side, there we go. For the earn side, how your sales are set up or how you receive your income, how your income is diversified, meaning like what you have to pay for on a regular or monthly basis, and then what assets or items you need to contribute to that operation. And again, this is why seeing the credit report, knowing your housing situation, and knowing what financial coverages or things you have in place are important and what already exists. When it comes to generating the wealth, that's when we go further into making sure your credit is taken care of, because in the long run, you may want to apply for business funding, or you might want to establish a line of credit, or you may want to do so you're not coming out of pocket for services, different ways you might think about it, including whatever assets you have and whatever benefits you have. And then when it comes to investing in yourself, that's when we come into play to implement the services that you need or whatever resources we have, and how you execute those services with us, which I'll explain as well. And of course, the last bit of that is networking, because we do have the workshops, we do have the sessions, and overall, this process, we're implementing a monthly event that'll be in person and virtual, to where everyone can go through this process in one swoop versus, scheduling each tidbit over time. So with that, let me go down here if I have it up here. Yeah, I'll just do this. It'll make it easier. Okay, I'll give that a minute to load up and I'll go back here. So with that, let me go here. Now, this is another reason with the website, I wanted to show you guys this, because this will be on the website, but this is the event that I'm referring to as well, Begin to Network, that'll go through all of these different steps in one swoop with people in person, including, being able to bring in new network vendors or resources that we have, et cetera, et cetera. So when it comes down to it, when you guys are utilizing the services, let me go here. And you have to forgive me for going back and forth. That's why I say a lot of stuff hasn't been publicized yet. There we go.
I just want to remind you that this is the place to try out all your stuff. I like all these bells and whistles.
Okay.
And the way you're able to troubleshoot on the spot. That's kind of stuff that we're over here chatting about. This is the kind of stuff we need, a person that can, you're troubleshooting as you go, and that's cool.
Okay, perfect. Okay. But yeah, this is in addition to the quick services that you guys saw on the booking page, this is actually all of the different services. So, outside of the forms that you've seen, which gives us a full view picture of the person we're working with, from there, we're able to dictate what services we're actually implementing and how we need to structure the service for you and how it can be paid for, or whatever payment structure we need to put into place, so that way we can hit the ground running. So from media to production to promotion, management, let me do this, there we go. So that way it's a little bit easier to see. And once the website is up, it'll go, you'll be able to actually read this, but it's very straightforward. We do 3 areas: production, promotion, and management. And we have the different areas that, revolve around that. So when it comes to that session, again, the 90-minute session, and we go through that information, this is where we decide, okay, how is our agency serving you in addition to the personal solutions that you need? So that way it's affordable. You can move forward and it makes sense for everyone involved. And we cover all our bases in case, knock on wood, something were to happen or something is out of place that needs to be addressed. So that way you can continue to move forward. So the way we structured this, there are 3 types of ways we offer our services. We do flat rate services. We do a subscription service, or you can become a member and you can pay over time. So let me start with the flat rate one. The flat rate services are more so what you guys seen from the booking page. So let me just go back there again. So there we go. These right here would be considered flat rate services because it's just a one-time payment that you make for that service. And these services are structured for 30 days. That's what they're geared towards. And we have other ones like that. If you're doing a subscription-based service, then of course you're paying for something either weekly, monthly, sometimes hourly or daily, depending on the service. Like for example, if somebody's requesting production services, that may be hourly or that may be, weekly or daily, just depending on how it plays out. Let me go back. And then the last part of that, let's say a person needs multiple services. It's not as easy to just say, oh, this is the only thing that they need. Then what we would do is have that person to become a member, meaning that they have a monthly membership fee that they pay. And from there, all of the services that we implement afterwards, they're able to pay over time. And we do have a processor that we work with called Benefits that allows people to finance their services, and there's no credit check that's required at all. You just have to have an active bank account and, of course, not have any, I think it's more than like 3 or 4 NSFs on your account, non-sufficient funds. And that's the way that works. And that's why, and back in the beginning, why I said we're looking to have at least 500 accounts, because not only are we able to show that we have that many people in our system, but on the future side of it, for the credit side, if we have at least 500 accounts, as long as you're a member of our network and you're using our services, we can report positive credit to the credit bureaus for our clientele, which also further enhances their credibility on paper, meaning that you're on paper even more fundable to obtain like business lines of credits, whatever you need for your brand or your business. So fast forward with that. Let's just say hypothetically, it's not as easy for a person to just pay a flat rate. It's not as easy for a person to do a subscription because maybe funds are not as consistent. Or, a person, they can't commit to a monthly membership, even though they might be able to pay over time. They can't do both. There are 2 ways that we solve this. And, obviously the first way, we do have a way to provide funding. We do have a network of lenders. So again, taking the information that we already got from these 3 forms, we implement it into our funding request form. So that way you don't have to repeat yourself. And from there, we're able to decide, what lenders you can work with, because we already know your housing and your credit situation and what financial obligations you already have in place. So that way we're not connecting you to a lender that's going to deny you. We only want to connect you to people that are going to fund you, so you don't have to go through that disappointment, because nobody wants to go through all of that just to be disappointed. And this is not the form. Hold on. That's not the form. Let me go back here. I might have skipped over it. Okay, there we go. And again, this is one of the 2 ways that we handle that financial, I guess you could say, setback or hardship that people run into and may not be able to dive right in to paying for services. So we work with different lenders. Let's give this a second to adjust. There we go. And based on the information that we already have, the way this form is structured, based on the information we receive, it's going to automatically match you with one of the lenders in our network. And we actually have some more that we're adding. So that way, when we take all the information that individuals have already provided to us, we simply key it in or transcribe it in, and this form is automatically going to show us which lenders are going to approve them. Not, pre-qualified, but actually approve based on the credentials. So that's the one way we would do it. On the other hand, let's say, the credit's not up there, or that the money that they have coming in, it's not up there to qualify for any of our lenders or to even do financing. Let's say there's some people that don't have a bank account. I know that that happens. Some people only have prepaid accounts or, you know, cash only income. So with that on the other side, which we just implemented this year, which made things so much easier, we have a system in place to where we can take on, I don't want to say post-dated. That's not what I say. I want to say a tax deferred payment. And what I mean by tax deferred payment is that we're able to set up a W-9 for the individual, as well as other tax forms such as the 1099, 1096, and a few others, to where we simply use the business information and apply that payment to our company. That way it's already paid out through taxes. And this is something that we just implemented within these last several months. I was really working hard on it and learning a lot about it. So that way people are not necessarily coming directly out of pocket, but we use their business and personal information to apply it to these tax forms. So that way our company is still paid, we can still service the individual, and everything makes sense. Now, let me see here. I wanted to see if I have this. Let me just double check my notes here. I don't believe I have an example up just yet for that form. But if you've seen different tax forms, it'll make sense. But that's what we use. And anybody that uses what I call the tax deferred payment, they do need to be a member as well. So no matter what services they're using, they're also going to automatically be a member, meaning there's a monthly membership fee that's included in that payment. And we only have the membership to be totaled out for 1 year. And if they continue to do it that way, then we just have to do the paperwork each year that way. But yeah, that is everything so far. The last thing I want to do is show you guys an example of the different services, so that way you guys can see how it works. So we've already gone through the begin session. One service is our feature. So we build the online presence of your brand through digital endorsement. So here's an example of someone that used that service to make sure that their brand was online or digitally accessible. Let me let that load up really quick. All right. So this is a lifestyle service. This is Toy. She does a cycling class, and she also offers meal prep and merchandise to go with her services. So those are her shirts. She has her, I want to say this is her food. Okay, there's her cycling, and she has her food come up. Okay. Now with her website, because most of the people that are in her demographic, they mostly use their mobile phones to connect with her. Her digital presence is geared toward mobile users, and people can, buy apparel, visit her cycling class, order meals, and she also does intimate catering. So that's an example of that service. When it comes to setting up, I'm sorry, that was actually the placement one. I went a little backwards. But we also did feature her as well. That's what I should say. We did feature her. So we actually did both. So I wasn't wrong about that. Let me see if I can put this on here. With the features, so that way this makes sense. We have a few ways we do that as well. Okay, come on. And go back here. Let's see. If we'll do that, it should come up just fine. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So that's the way we made sure she was present online. And then we have the feature side of it. And for the feature side, we do it a few different ways. We can either feature you within our email list, which we have a total approximately 20,000 people in our email list that we're just now getting ready to, hit the ground running with this year. We also do it on our website, which we have, a lot of the brands that we've done work for, or through our social media platforms. So that's another way that we feature you. And like I said, with me adding officially the digital marketing certificate to my belt, you're going to see a lot of stuff out there that you probably didn't know that we did, to say the least. So that's that part. That's how that works. Let me go back here. I'm going to make this, I'm just going to leave this like this really quick. So that way, there we go. When it comes to digital media for your brand, I can show you guys a really great example of that.
I'm really interested in what you're talking about. We have a presenter, the Artist Design the Future is here. They've arrived, and Kayla is going to show only a video because she has to go to with a funeral, some things that she needs to do. So this is a really good conversation, and Kayla will be asking you some questions.
Okay.
Toward the end of your presentation.
Okay, perfect. Right. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, let me go to this. We're on the digital media. Oops, that was not how I meant to write that. There we go. See, I got a lot of different things here. All right, perfect. So when it comes to digital media that we create, we have some collages we've done on our Instagram, but let me see here if I have this up here, which I should. Let me give it a second because I know I'm moving kind of fast for my laptop. I have it doing a lot right now. I'm looking for it. Let's see, let me go here. Okay, there we go. This is what I was looking for. So one of the brands we've worked with, we work with Society 6, so we've put up stuff for them, but also another company, Premium Bandai, and GameStop. I'm looking for one of them that I liked a lot. But these are some of the ones we put up. Gosh darn. Okay, let me do this instead. So make it easier because I'm not seeing what I'm looking for just yet. But as far as digital media, we have put a lot of stuff out there for GameStop, for Walmart, for Premium Bandai, for SodaStream, which I was really excited about because when we started working with them, we implemented a campaign with them, and they also started working with Snoop Dogg at the same time. So we were able to cross promote with that. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So these are one of the ones that we did. We got approved to do this through our agency. And I know it looks a little weird because of the crosses, but if you see it on Instagram, that's one of them. And for this particular campaign, we were able to put together a lot of the media ads for them as well. So that's one of the ones.
We gotta, I don't want to lose our main presenter today. She's getting ready to, she needs to load up her presentation.
Okay.
So then we'll come back and question and answer because it's kind of like they were planning on presenting today.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much
sitting here waiting, and they're really interested in the work that you're doing, but they want to present because Kayla has to take off.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it.